Hey everybody, let's keep going. So we're doing this October, we're doing a book on just holidays. So we're using the same book and it just progresses, keeps growing. So this is Frankenstein. We're going to do The Bride of Frankenstein. I don't know much about it. I just looked it up. So if it looks similar, it's because I looked it up. I like this one. This was fun. Do you know the mummy man? The mum. Okay, look at this is glued together. So you just go here. We need to fight it. Okay, so this was what they call the Bride of Frankenstein. I don't know. She looks kind of pretty. So let's have some fun with her. And yeah, kind of go on the same way. Oh, I'm going to turn it back. Okay. One of my friends who started out, Ryan Chenier, started out as a student, super quiet. Back then, quiet students always kind of scared me. You know, I was going to be social. And, you don't know what they're thinking. So Ryan was super quiet, and we became friends. And now, I can honestly say he's probably one of the best friends. He's like right up there with Dave Master. And Dave's the best friend I've ever had. Leonard Robinson. I mean, these are like old friends. And Glenn Vilppu. But so Ryan, he does video games and he's really talented, really smart. He and Corey are my digital people, and they teach me digital. Started out, I was pretty good. I was having trouble, and I said, God, what's going on? I can't get it to work. And they said, you have to turn on the computer. So I probably started at about as low as you can go. And now he sat down at my desk. He goes, you got a really sophisticated computer setup. And I'm like, whoa, that's cool. Because right now I'm sitting at my desk. I have this part where I'm at right here. This is all traditional. So I'm looking at beautiful brushes and pens and tons of watercolor sets and markers and fountain pens. And then when I turn, I have a Cintiq and an additional 3 monitors. And I'm surrounded by all music. Everything's electronic. So Ryan introduced me to something before everybody else started hearing about it. It's called AI. And it blew my mind. I'm like, okay. And what it did is, because I'm old school trained, is it just kind of put everything we've ever done into a really high-end level. It's pretty scary. What it does, so what it does, it just takes everything and, well, I don't know how to explain it. So if I'm going to do a painting, I might open 5 or 6 books, and I might like the eye from a Norman Rockwell, or the drapery from, a Durr, or, Lion Decker. I usually have a Lion Decker open. And what I do is I kind of steal from each one, It's kind of like, I like the drapery from Lion Decker, and I like the clouds from somewhere else. But I'm drawing it myself. What the AI does is it searches anything that's ever been in the history that's been online, and it pieces it together. And now there's a thing called Laura, and you can say, okay, I want this drawing. Put a drawing in. Say, I want it to be in this style, and it'll produce it in that style. Does it scare me? Not really. Just having a really talented assistant standing next to me, I can say, okay, give me. I haven't used it. I don't need to use it. I don't have to use AI except for something I'm going to tell you, writing. But so Ryan last night, he's out here. He's spending time at my house, and he said, "You should do a lecture on AI. Do a demo on AI." Well, I don't know really how to use it. You have to know how to use it. It's not like you just plug it in and go. You have to know it. But yeah, I'm not going to do that. But I don't think it's going to affect the artist as much as it's going to affect more of the tech. Because I think for me, when somebody hires me to do artwork, they're more hiring me for how I think. Like the homicide, I actually see it happening. So I could put it down with crayon or paper mache or whatever, but that's just how I'm getting it from my head down to a substrate. The real important part is how I think, what I see. So if you're being taught and it's more like, here, copy this, yeah, you've just been replaced. But if what you're being taught is like at my school where you're not ever copying anything, you're always, if I do a portrait, we do a head painting class, I'll give them, a face, I'll give them like 4 views. And I don't want them copying any one angle. You got to kind of put them all together. That's kind of AI. Um, you also have to know how to fix it. It's not perfect. So you got to be able to take what it gives you, just like in a studio. We used to call it knowing how to fix. Do you know how to fix? They give you, you get a scene, you got to fix it. Well, that's kind of what the AI is going to do. But I was on vacation, and I talked to people. I'm very social. I was talking to these group of different people, and they were from Germany and London. That's what they did for a living. They were radiologists. And I said, well, I was just curious, how's AI affecting you guys? That's what they told me. They had a case, and it was cancer, and they missed it, but AI caught it. So that person lived because of the technology. I don't know. What I do know, being old, but in my mind I'm still very young, technology has never stopped. It's at the airport. This guy walks up to me one day and he says, Sheldon, I never talked to him before. This is the rare time you don't have people around you. Okay. I'd like to introduce myself to you. I said, why didn't you come over before? He goes, because you already got people around you. You're social. And this was a genius. Full blown, when you're flying every week out of Silicon Valley, you're meeting the geniuses. Absolute genius. He wanted to work at Apple. He was working at a different company. And one day he said to me, he said, Sheldon, I want to work at Apple. Another friend of mine was really good buddies with was a big shot at Apple. So he goes, I want to work for Apple. I said, all right, follow me. So we walk across, the gate, the airline, the flight. We were on the side of the gate. And I walked over and I said, my friend wants to work at Apple. And my other friend who worked at Apple hired him. That was it. He just hired him. So I know a lot of people. We were getting on the plane one day and I asked him about technology. He told me there's some formula, I don't remember, but technology has to, it like doubles over a certain period of time, not like months. That's how fast the technology is going these days. And it's only going as fast as the computers can actually, run. So you guys start getting to these quantum computers, where they're, running at different stages at the same time. Like, I don't even understand it, but they like dual periods of time at the same time. Um, you're not going to stop technology. So the trick is to use it. My TAs were so important for me. And one of the major reasons is I don't write very well. And I was always considered to be a failure because of it. But I had ideas, but I was always being made fun of because I was dyslexic. I couldn't write. Back then, when I was a kid, if you're dyslexic, you were just considered to be stupid. Another reason why I teach today, I want to protect those kids, not to let them do what people do to them, what they did to me. But here, I grew up thinking I was stupid, and because I couldn't spell, and I was in Hanna-Barbera's training program, and my teacher, you probably heard this story, I told it before, but we had to do a story, and they chose Popeye, and my teacher, he worked on the original Popeyes, so we came up with a story. It was really creative, and they loved it. So I forget it was Barbera, I think it was Hannah. He goes, I'm going to show this to my partner, Barbera. I go, what? He goes, yeah, you're real talented in the writing. I said, oh, no, 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 you can't do that. He goes, why? I said, because I'm stupid. What? Here I am at the studio, all this opportunity. So he put it in his briefcase. And when he wasn't looking, I took it out. I went to his briefcase and took it out. That's how scared I was. I was 19 years old, that anybody would consider that I could write anything. Well, that's a crime. And I made sure when I had children that nobody would do that to them. I protected my kids. And there was a lot of teachers out there walking around who can poop out of different parts of their body after I got done with them if they ever tried to do that kind of stuff to my kids. And then when I started teaching, of course, those are my kids also. So what's the point of your story, Sheldon? I have to write an article and I got to do a whole bunch of them. I write them all at one time, a whole bunch of them, and they go online. It goes out to like 15,000 people through a friend of mine. And what an opportunity. They have to be written. I don't write good. Now I could go to one of my TAs and say, okay, TA, would you write this for me? But I'm not teaching this college right now. So, and my kids at my school who are equally as good at 15, they have school. I can't say, okay, I want to sit there and write this article. I mean, if I have an email that I need to send out, I might have them read it just to make sure. It's kind of funny that I'm sending out a really high-end email, to a client. And I've got a 14-year-old reviewing it, making sure that the grammar's right and everything. I don't worry about it anymore. Because what I do is I put it in chat. I just write what I want. But what chat's doing is it's taking everything that I've ever done. It knows me, like my TAs knew me. And it's putting it in there. So I might say, I'm showing this part, I'm guiding the eye to this character in a cartoon I'm doing, like a movie I was doing pitch, and I was showing it. And what Chad said, like in my forensics, when I guide the viewer's eye, the jury, I didn't write that. Chad did. Chad knows that I do courtroom exhibits. Chad knows all of them. Chad is one of my employees. This is scary. Now, in the next few days, I'm going to have to do a whole series, and it's going to be a lot of them. It's going to be a whole narrative. And I told the guy that I write it for, I'm loving Chad, and he smiled. And he goes, "Isn't it wonderful?" So he's using it. Technology is technology. So I don't know. I mean, but it has to be my idea. It has a tool. Now I'm going to design a character. It's going to be you guys will see it when I get it done and put it out there. Very special. And I've got all the software. I've got Toon Boom. I got all the Adobe. So, but when I'm done with this, that's why I want to get these done for Corey. I'm going to set up a little animation desk, just a little one. And I'm going to do it traditional because it's faster. It's faster for me to sit here and flip that paper. Bam, 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 bam. So fast. Bam, bam, bam. Than it is for me to do it in Photoshop or Toon Boom. But the painting part is faster to do in Photoshop. And then the post is incredible on the computer. So I combine them all. I don't do just one. And I just think people hire me because I'm creative. That's how I think. So this is dedicated to Ryan, who teaches me digital, and Corey, who keeps me out of trouble. And then I'm going to put it all together in InDesign. I don't know InDesign. I haven't had a reason to learn it, but one of my students, whose name is Leor Taylor, who is exceptional. I met him my first couple semesters at San Jose, and we became instant friends. Just bam, he was an adult, and he came here from Israel, and just came to college, and we met. He was in my class, and wow, did we become friends? And we've been friends ever since. So he's an adult, he's an old guy now, and I'm still older though, and he'll teach me what I need to know on the InDesign, but I'll apply it, maybe but I'll be using traditional, then Photoshop, then InDesign. So I don't know. I don't want to get rid of my technology, but what's happening now can only be compared to when the horse and buggy became the car. And that's the scary part. So for my students, I'm training them how to think. I'm training them how to be creative. And I'm training them how not to fear. So those are my kids. And I only love my students more than I love myself. I love those kids. They melt me. So we'll see where it goes. But when I sit down to write something now, I wanted to do a contract that I might use, in business. So I had a friend give me his contract, which I think he probably had an attorney do. I stuck it in chat and I said, "Hey, chat, can you make this work for my business? Convert everything to illustration?" Like less than 30 seconds, it was right there. Then I had a change. I didn't want it to be hourly. I like to work by project because, you know, I my stuff's too important to, I can't stop it, with changes. I can't say, no, you can't have this. It's really important stuff. So nobody's going to get what they want. So, I do all the changes. I do like unlimited changes, which is insane. And so I wanted it to be project based instead of hourly based. So I says, chat, can you make it project based? Done. Brilliant. Holy shit. So I don't know. Robotics. Yeah, it's there. You drive down the street, car. Your car senses danger. It'll stop your car. And that's not in the. That's like in a normal car now. I don't know. Oh, but I watch Ryan work with the AI, and it's an art. There's an art to it. You have to know what you're doing. The Bride of Frankenstein. So you can take this drawing, shove it in, and then you can say, okay, give it to me in this style, and it'll give it to you. Those are called Laura's. Really weird. I think we'll end with this. I was at a couple of things. I was at a union meeting years ago, and there was a guy walking around, and he was just pissed. Like, what are you mad about? He goes, they took away my crank pencil sharpener and replaced it with an electric pencil sharpener. And that's what he was mad about. Now, I understood exactly what he was talking about. You're animating, you got to think. So you put your pencil in and you just crank. And that's like Pavlov's dog. And as you're cranking, your brain's like, it's time to think. I would just put my pencil sharpener in the electric pencil sharpener and turn it around. I must have drove everybody crazy in the studio because I had headphones on. And I'm just moving it around because you got to think. Somebody else was really mad about Xerox, from ink and paint. But, the Xerox took over inking. That's funny. That makes me old. And now think about it. You can actually make a movie. That's insane. On that little box behind me, that computer, I can make my own movie. I'm so old school in the industry. I remember when video first came in. Steve Hickner and I we worked in video, and we were a big deal because we were able to shoot those scenes really fast so the animators can see their tests. The old animators didn't have to do that. They did it for the directors to see it, you know. But I would have the animators would hand me a scene to go test. So you want to see it? I say, no, it works. Jack Ozark, you know, my favorite. I used to go to his house all the time and he'd teach me. You know, the great Jack Ozark, you know, was a friend, a mentor. But he taught us that if you take the paper, you hold it up, you get a crimp in it, right? And you just let it fall. That's 24 frames a second. But here, you know, we're old, you know, young guys like Steve Hickner, you know, young guys, Steve Hickner, young, you know. I say, hey, Jack, you know, how do you flip paper at 24 frames a second? And go, do it like this. And they had it down. So they knew if their scenes worked. So I don't really have to test it. I just flip it. Yeah, works. Trained by the best. So that was technology back then. Changed everything. I don't have the answer, but at my school, we don't. We do everything traditional. You learn at my school traditionally. Everything's traditional. But we don't fear the digital. So you gotta have your traditional first, and then you use the digital. So cool. But I don't have all the computers. I'd have to have render farms and all this stuff. So I don't do that. Say hi to Mrs. Frankenstein. Frankenstein. You know, she has kind of this hair. Okay, so this is Frankenstein with a little bit of lecture on technology. AI. Do I use it? No, don't need to. If I had to use it, would I? If I was on a job? Of course. Do as you're told. Would I learn it? Of course. Am I going to learn it? Of course. It's on my computer. Okay. See you on the next drawing.